Hello! In today's Photoshop tutorial I'm going to show you how to make some layered disc embellishments. This is slightly more complicated than some of the tutorials we've done in the past, but I'm going to make this as easy as possible and give you as many tips and tricks as I can. So what I've done is I have chosen 2 pages from the old design shop that I would like to make into layered discs. So I've chosen this page here, which I'm going to use as my background. I've chosen this page that I'm going to use as my foregrounds, and we're going to create little embellishments like this. Now I've just zoomed in so you could see that, so I'm just going to zoom out and you can see the actual size that I've created this one at the moment. So here we go. The first thing you need to do is go to your background layer. And what I'm going to do is I've already used this background here, so I'm going to zoom in to this background here, and I'm going to hit Command or Control plus and zoom in. I'm going to hold down my spacebar, use my little hand to drag my page to where I want to be. You can obviously use your slide bars at the top and the side and the bottom if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our elliptical marquee tool, this one here. Now if I just click and drag, you can see, I hope you can see those little lines. You're not going to get a perfect circle, so I'm just going to Command or Control D to dismiss my marching ants, and this time I'm going to hold down the Shift key. So you hold down the Shift key and drag, and you're going to get a perfect circle, not too big hopefully. I've selected the part that I want. Now I've already unlocked my layers. It's really important you unlock your layers. I'm going to Command or Control C to copy. I'm going to go to my background layer and I'm going to Control or Command V to paste, and what that's going to do is it's going to drop it directly into the centre of the page, and that's exactly what I want to happen. So now I'm going to go to the images that I want to use as my foreground. And again, I've still got my elliptical marquee selected. I'm going to zoom in. What should we have? I quite like this at the bottom. So I'm going to again hold down my Shift key and I'm going to click and drag my circle. Now don't forget, once you let go, if you don't like that particular part of the selection, you can use your up and down, side to side arrow keys to select the exact part that you would like. So I'm Command or Control C. I'm going back to my layer and I am Command or Control V, and that will paste it directly into the centre. Now I'm quite lucky here, they're actually pretty much the right size. But what you can do, if they're not, is you hit your Command or Control T to transform, but don't forget to hit your lock button. We're going to be using that again in a moment, but for now I'm just going to show you what we're going to do with these, because we want to move them. But if you look over here, we've got layer 1 and layer 2. I've already gone ahead and named my first one Disc 1. So at the moment layer 2 is selected. I'm going to hold down my Command or Control key and I'm going to click on layer 1. So both of these layers are selected. I'm going to go up to layer at the top. I'm going to scroll down and I am going to merge layers. I'm not going to merge visible because all of these are visible, so it would merge them all, and I'm not going to flatten the image because that will have the same effect. I'm just going to merge layers. Now you can, obviously nothing's changed over here, but over here it now says layer 2. I'm going to double click that and I'm going to change that to Disc 2, just so I don't get confused. And then I'm going to select my move key. I'm going to move my disc up. Now as you can see, my discs are both different sizes at the moment. To print I'm going to want them the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my line out just to line those up, and click on Disc 2. I'm going to hit Command or Control T to transform that, and I'm going to select my lock. I don't want them to be different out of proportion, so I need to make sure I'm locking the proportions, and I'm just going to drag that out. What we can do is we can drag another line across, and they are pretty much the same size. I'm going to hit enter, and I've now got 2 discs ready to go. Now you can obviously make these whatever size you want. I just do it by eye. Let's do another one. So we're going to go back to our background layer. Now you can see I've still got a selection here. I'm not going to be able to do anything while that selection is still made, so I'm going to Command or Control D to dismiss those marching ants. I'm going to use my little hand and my space bar just to move around, and I think I'll use this one. It's a recipe, so select elliptical marquee, hold down my shift key and drag out my circle. I'm going to Command C to copy back to my main layer, Command and V, which will paste it in. I'm then going to my foreground, and again I need to get rid of those marching ants, so that's Command D to dismiss those. I'm going to have a little move around, quite like these cherries. I think we'll use those this time. So hold down my shift key, drag across the cherries. Just use my arrow keys to move that selection very slightly. Command C to copy, background layer, Command V to paste that in. Okay, so here we go. We've got layer 1 and layer 2. So I'll hold down the shift key and select layer 1, so both of those are selected. Layers at the top, come down and merge layers. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm calling that disc 3. Okay, now I can select my move key. I'll move it across to my lines, and I've actually cut those pretty accurately, not too far out. Command T to transform, hit my little lock and just reduce the size of that very slightly. And this time, instead of hitting enter, I'm just going to hit the little tick at the top there. They do exactly the same thing. So I've now got 3 disc embellishments. We'll do one more. Command and D to get rid of those marching ants. Find a part of the page you would like to use. These are all recipes which I thought tied in quite nicely. Marquee tool, hold down the shift key, draw out my little circle, Command and C to copy, get back to my page, Command and V to paste. I'm just going to Command and D to get rid of my marching ants. Have a little move around, see what I fancy for this one. I think I'm going to go for, I think I'll go for the currants. So I've still got my marquee tool selected. I'm going to hold the shift key down and drag out my circle. Use my arrow keys to move that selection a little bit. Command and C, go back to my page, Command and V, hold down the shift key and select my layer, go to layers, come down, merge layers, double click on there and call that disc 4. I'm going to select my move key, move my disc into place, and again pretty close, Command and T, lock the proportions, make that slightly smaller and hit enter to select. So we've done 4, well we've done 3 together. Hopefully that was nice and clear for you, and you can use anything for your background layers and your foreground of your discs. Now the only thing you're going to have to remember is sometimes your the resolution of the images, the pixels per inch, may change the size of your circles when you bring them in. You might have a very big circle and a very small circle, and you might need to change the dimensions when you first paste them onto your page, but it's exactly the same process. If I show you what I mean, let's select our marquee. I'm just going to hold the shift key. I'm going to make this quite big. Command and C. I'm going to go back to my background layer and I'm going to paste that in. Now you can see that's very big, and I've also got the gap in between those circles, so I do apologise for that. Now this time I'm going to select the grapes, Command and C, and paste that in. Now these are not really in a great proportion to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the move tool just to get rid of that selection tool, and I'm on the grapes. I'm going to Command and T to transform. I'm going to hit my lock and I'm going to change the size of just one circle. Now while I've got this transform key up, you can see I can still move this around, and when I get that pink line, that means I'm in the centre. And as you can see, I've now got a pink cross, which means I am in the centre directly, horizontally and vertically. So once I'm happy, I hit my enter key and I'm kind of in the same position. My discs are the right size, I know they're completely lined up, so I can shift, select both layers, layer, merge layer, and there we go. And I'll do the same thing. I would move this into my line, or I could move it up here and do my Command and T, lock the proportions and get that as close as I can. This time I could use my down arrows to make sure, my down rulers, sorry, just to make sure I get those pretty much the same size. So I hope that was nice and clear. I hope you can use the information I've given you in this tutorial. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported the Photoshop tutorials that I've done. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again later. Bye! That's if I can even get out of this today. What's going on? There we go. Bye!